Somebody's here. I heard something.
Hey, there's something stood on the fucking stairs. There's something stood on the stairs, mate. A bit for...
What the? No, look, here. Dude.
Venturing into abandoned buildings alone can be terrifying. But what happens when you encounter someone, or something, you'd rather never meet? Like this first encounter, that takes us to the heart of downtown Cleveland, where a relic of the early 1900s stands, the once grand Rockefeller Building. Once a prestigious address for law firms, financial institutions, and professionals, it now sits in silence, abandoned. In a video shared on June 9, 2025, urban explorer Chris, better known as Urbex Hill on YouTube, ventures inside to document what remains. Since its closure in 2022, the building has rapidly deteriorated. Though there have been talks of redevelopment, the destruction inside has only grown.
5 people breaking into Cleveland's historic Rockefeller Building on West 6th and Superior happened a little after 3 this morning. Video from our overnight news tracker shows some of the windows broken out of this 17-story building.
One of the greatest threats to the building's survival isn't just time or neglect. It's the constant stream of scrappers, stripping away anything of value and leaving behind even more destruction. But that didn't stop Chris from stepping inside to document what remained of this once iconic site. Still, it didn't take long before he started to regret that decision.
Someone must have just recently pissed on the ground right here. That's gross. Wow, those are all bullet holes. The coronavirus. I think this when this place shut down was during the pandemic. People really in here shooting. It's a 9mm. That's crazy. It's crazy that places like this with so much detail get destroyed and demolished. Bullet casings. Look at that. That's crazy.
The evidence of gun use inside the building sent a chill down Chris's spine. It was a clear sign that things had gotten dangerous here. But instead of turning back, it only fueled his curiosity.
The fuck is that? That's crazy. Sucks.
Despite the eerie atmosphere, Chris felt a moment of calm as he stood on the rooftop, taking in the sweeping view. But that brief sense of peace was short-lived, because from here on out, things took a turn for the truly dangerous.
Somebody's been up here recently. Smells like cigarettes in here. Somebody's pills. They ripped the label off. Somebody was like using needles up here too, it looks like. Somebody's here. I heard something. wonder if that was somebody.
Although Chris couldn't be certain if the noises were a real threat, his nerves began to spike. With the clear signs of scrappers and the unsettling evidence of gun use, he had every reason to be on edge. Still, keeping his cool, he pressed on carefully, hoping those sounds were just coming from outside.
I started hearing a lot of noise coming from the stairwell nearby on the 9th floor, multiple voices and what sounded like music playing from a cell phone. So I quickly pressed record on my camera and turned my light off just in case they were hostile. Unfortunately, the camera audio was cutting in and out during the entire exploration, and it failed to capture the sound during this part. While sitting quietly in the dark, I listened, and they sounded like they might be fellow urban explorers. So I turned my light on and went to the stairwell to see who they were. When I got to the door, I unintentionally scared a woman that was with the group, and she screamed and ran up the stairs yelling, "Help." That's when one of the guys racked his gun and shouted, "Who's down there?" I replied that I was just taking pictures of the building. It quickly became clear they weren't explorers, they were scrappers, and they were also using drugs while stripping the place. They began yelling and threatening to shoot me if I didn't leave. I started arguing back at them, saying I have a gun too, and that they needed to relax. After a bit of tense back and forth, I told them I'm leaving soon and I won't bother them. I then left the stairwell and went down the hall to a different stairwell so I could get to the lower section of the building to get away from them. As I walked away, I could hear what sounded like at least 4 people yelling and cussing about me being there. One of them was even talking about me. This whole interaction made me pretty nervous, especially considering the number of bullet holes and shell casings I had already found scattered throughout the building. It was clear that these scrappers come here often, and were mad that I was in there, and it wouldn't surprise me if they fire off rounds to scare off explorers or anyone else who enters the building. Anyways, I just continued to explore the lower levels of the building, hoping they stay in the upper levels.
This place is crazy. Completely flooded.
You've got to admire Chris's nerve, choosing to keep exploring, hoping he wouldn't run into whoever might still be inside. But as it turned out, things were not over yet. Luckily, Chris managed to make it out unseen and unharmed. But the tension of that day still lingers, for him, and for anyone watching. It's a chilling reminder of just how real the risks can be when exploring places like this alone. Not every danger is paranormal, and not every building is truly abandoned. Speaking of places with eerie reputations, this next clip takes us to the Royalty Cinema in Harborne. where Kyle and his friend Alex decided to see what secrets an abandoned, but allegedly haunted, building might hold. And that clip comes from the YouTube channel Plan Zero, run by Kyle. Usually, Kyle shares trampolining videos and is known for founding the clothing brand Plan Zero, which his channel is named after. But in this video, shared on September 25th, 2017, Kyle took a different direction. Together with his friend Alex, they decided to explore the abandoned Royalty Cinema in Harborne, a place locals often say is haunted. Despite the stories, Kyle and Alex's curiosity got the better of them, and after some effort, they finally stepped inside the decaying cinema. But as they wandered through the building, they quickly realized this visit was going to be far more intense than they'd expected.
What was that noise? It's sketchy. Of all the abandoned places I've been, this is... of all the places, this is the hardest one it's ever been to get into. I really don't think many people get a chance to go in here. Yo, look at that, that's trippy. Yo, I wonder if they watch Plan Zero. Yo! Whoa. You hear that? This place, there's just noises. Oh my god, it was my shadow. There's just noises everywhere.
Though they admired the worn beauty of the old cinema, an uneasy feeling lingered. They tried to push it aside and focus on exploring, but what they didn't know was that the atmosphere was only about to get heavier.
You know, this place is actually really starting to creep me out. There's a pigeon. It's getting darker and darker here because the sun's going down and there's less natural light. It's getting a little bit sketchy because we still have to get out of here through that window. But check this out. This is the balcony and it's just a sheer drop. This place, dude, this place is weird. What the fuck? No, look, here. Dude, this thing. Have you been up here yet? Have you been up here?
No, I don't think so.
Dude, I swear to God, this came around the corner.
You can't be freaking me out like this.
Well, look, I swear, did you not hear it? There's no way it fell off of that.
They were already on edge, but when the object suddenly fell from the wall just as Kyle walked by, it shook them even more. Maybe it was a coincidence, but something just didn't sit right.
I don't know, I thought it was you. I heard a noise, but...
Where does this dude, this is... I'm not joking, I swear, I'm not joking.
You're f***ing with me, because now,
I'm not,
now
dude,
I got chills.
I swear, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Look, I'll watch the footage. Dude, I mean, you've seen it, right? You've seen it.
I feel like you've set this up somehow, but I'm really not trying to stay around.
I swear.
They had seen enough. The uneasy feeling had settled deep, and the coincidence was too much to ignore. Whether it was a real person, or maybe something paranormal, or really just a coincidence, Kyle and Alex weren't willing to stick around to find out. Hastily grabbing anything they could stand on, they made their way out, leaving behind the decaying cinema with the mystery of what truly lingered within the walls of that old cinema. But the world of abandoned places holds many more secrets, and for Ben and his friends, their next exploration would uncover something far more unsettling than just peeling wallpaper. Ben is an adventure vlogger known for diving headfirst into the forgotten corners of the world. On his YouTube channel, Exploring with Fighters, he shares the haunting beauty and hidden history of abandoned places most people would never dare to enter. In a clip uploaded on June 17, 2019, Ben teamed up with his friends Josh, Carl, and Dan to explore a massive abandoned mansion. The house had an eerie atmosphere from the moment they stepped inside, but the exploration itself went smoothly. Just another day of peeling wallpaper, silent halls, and crumbling elegance. As always, Ben snapped a few photos to document the place. But later, back home, something in one of the photos stopped him cold. What he saw wasn't just decay, it was something else.
I decided to get some photos, but what I'd take in the photo would surprise everyone. Some of you will have seen the live stream, and some of you would have seen the Instagram post. If you haven't, I suggest you go over and see it for much finer detail. But I was super shocked when I saw this, so I put it straight online to see what people think. I don't know. I don't know if it's a ghost or lens flare. I'll let you guys make up your own minds.
If you look closely at the photo, you can make out what appears to be a face. Faint, almost transparent, yet unmistakably staring straight into the camera. Dan admitted he wasn't sure what to make of it. Maybe it was just a camera glitch, or a trick of the light. But what unsettled him most was how detailed it looked, like a real person caught mid-glance. Viewers were quick to share their thoughts. Many were convinced it was a ghost, possibly the spirit of the mansion's former owner, still lingering in the shadows. But what do you think? Did Ben unknowingly capture something paranormal? Or was it all just a perfectly timed coincidence? Speaking of chilling encounters, halfway across the world, another adventure was about to take maybe even a darker turn. And that was shared by the popular Filipino YouTube channel Zarkaru Vlogs, run by Kuya, is known for capturing breathtaking spots across the globe. But in the video shared on July 28, 2024, things took an unexpected turn. Together with his friends, Kanoy set out to spend the night in an abandoned town near Hanoi, Vietnam, better known as Ghost Town. They knew it would be memorable, but they didn't expect just how unsettling it would become. It felt surreal, like walking through the set of an abandoned movie. Silent streets, lifeless buildings, a place frozen in time. But then when rain started pouring and they decided to take shelter under one of the old rooftops, something strange pulled their attention away from the storm.
Guys, hindi ko alam kung narinig yun. Nagta-timelapse kasi kami dito, tapos biglang may batang. Parang dyan nga lang sa baba natin. Yun nga, baba na kami. Pero ingat ha, madulas pre.
As the rain finally eased and the sun slipped below the horizon, the group made their way downstairs, still unsettled by the faint, childlike sound they had heard. But what they didn't realize was that their cameras had picked up something else. Something they hadn't noticed at the moment.
Hindi namin napansin to dahil nakafocus kami sa pagbaba. Ngayon ko lang narinig nung nag-e-edit na ako.
Completely unaware of what their audio had already captured, the group pressed on. And for a while, the night was uneventful, quiet as they wandered deeper into the abandoned town. But just as they settled down to rest inside one of the buildings, something was there, and it immediately pulled them back into high alert.
Nang maya-maya ay may bigla akong narinig na boses sa baba. At maya-maya biglang may umandar na motor. Isa lang ang ibig sabihin nito, hindi lang kami ang naririto. At pagsilip ko sa baba, may ibang tao nga.
The unmistakable presence of other people in this deserted area didn't bring them any comfort. What made it even more unsettling was knowing that these strangers seemingly had a child with them, wandering through the ruins in the dead of night. The group hesitated for a moment, torn between curiosity and caution, waiting to see if those figures would disappear. But as the minutes passed, the unease only grew stronger. Realizing that lingering any longer could put them all at risk, the group reluctantly decided it was best to cut their exploration short and leave the ghost town behind, still haunted by the unknown presence they had encountered. What would you do? Would you stay to find out more, or pack up and head out like the group did? Encountering unexpected people, especially with a child, in a deserted place at night is enough to send anyone packing. But while some choose caution, others dive headfirst into the unknown. Meet Mox, the fearless explorer behind Moxley's Paranormal World, a YouTube channel dedicated to uncovering the secrets of the UK's most haunted places. From crumbling hospitals to remote, desolate forests, Mox has made it his mission to seek out the darkest corners where the line between the living and the dead begins to blur. In this episode, shared on August 7th, 2024, Mox teams up with his friend Ming to investigate an abandoned mansion on the outskirts of Manchester, a place long whispered about in paranormal and urbex circles. And for good reason. Shadowy figures, disembodied voices, and an overwhelming sense of dread. Many claim this is one of the most haunted mansions in the UK. But for Mox and Ming, those warnings aren't a deterrent. They're an invitation.
The smell is overwhelming. It smells like death in here, doesn't it? Oh, mate. Whoa! Down there, then. Honestly. Mate, I wonder if it's... You be careful, mate. The floor just cracked. Right, I'm gonna have to go back upstairs, I can't stay down here, mate. It's not nice, is it? No.
What worries them most right now isn't the paranormal, but the very real danger of the building itself. The thick smell of mold, the rotting walls, and the crumbling structure all pose a serious risk. One wrong step, and parts of the mansion could come down around them. But Mox and Ming didn't come all this way to turn back. They're here for answers. If spirits truly linger in this place, they're determined to make contact. And it didn't take long before something made itself known.
Something's moving around. Some fuckers. Why are they not speaking back to us? Hello? That's talking. Can you hear that? Yeah. Somebody's here. Somebody's up there. Right, let's go outside. Let's get out. Right. We do not know how hostile people are in here. Right. Let's get outside for a minute.
Uncertain whether the sounds they heard were from spirits or actual people, Mox and Ming decided to step outside, both for their own safety and to be ready to run if someone showed up.
Right, just for safety, we're going to stay out here for 5-10 minutes and we might go back in. But there's definitely people up there then. There is somebody in there. And we don't know. I've been in a situation before, Erna, where it gets very hostile. The last time I was with Bradley, somebody jumped out the attic with a machete and chased us, so just try to be careful. Right, so me and Ming have been sat outside for about 5-10 minutes, roughly around about that. Nobody's come out. We have heard the odd noise coming from inside though, haven't we? Right, so we don't know if it's actually somebody else in here or it's something residual, we just don't know. But we had to hightail it out of there. Mate, you just felt that fear factor just building, didn't you? But that sounded like somebody was coming down the stairs and getting over that bit of a ladder.
It did indeed. I am convinced 100% there is somebody inside that building.
But
the only way we're going to find out
we're going to have to go back in. I'm not looking forward to it, but...
I'm not, I'm dreading it. My nerves are shot.
Yeah,
and I mean
same.
shot.
Because the exit isn't the greatest of exits either.
It's not the easiest.
But there's two of us.
Yeah.
But we don't know if there is somebody in there. How many there is.
Gathering all their courage, they cautiously stepped back inside, drawn by curiosity, but tense with discomfort.
Could it be residual? I don't know.
this is an old building. It's locked against the outside. Shh. Hello? That's my camera, you can see on the shadow.
Just urban explorers coming in. Don't mean any harm. Is there someone there? Picture of a kid.
That's a bit random. There's nothing else here apart from that.
Yeah.
That is random.
Right. I'm gonna have to do it.
Despite the dangerously rotting staircase, Mox and Ming couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that someone was hiding upstairs. So, after a tense pause and some back and forth, Mox decided to test just how far he could climb without risking a full collapse. Every creak under his feet felt like a warning, but curiosity was louder than caution.
Be careful. Mate, don't go up them stairs.
Is there anybody there?
Look at the ceiling down there, folks.
You can feel it. Sort of like moving around there.
Yeah. Oh, that.
Shh.
That doesn't surprise me. Marks, don't go there.
Mate, there's somebody stood on the fucking stairs. There's somebody stood on the stairs, mate. A bit for... Hello? No, there's an actual person stood on the stairs. I don't know if I've got them on camera though, I'm not going back up.
Right.
Yeah, mate? There's like a little bit like this here, but up. And I could see somebody's fucking legs stood there.
No.
They've stood there, mate.
Right.
And why are they not talking back to us? Are they okay?
Maybe they don't want us to know that they are here, but we already know.
Convinced someone was upstairs and not willing to find out who, Mox and Ming made the decision to leave. They came chasing the paranormal, not looking to confront a potentially dangerous stranger hiding in the shadows of a collapsing mansion. And even though Mox didn't capture it on camera, he swears he saw a figure on the second-floor landing. So what do you think? Was it a real person? Maybe a squatter trying to stay out of sight? Something paranormal making itself known? Or just a combination of pigeons, shadows, and crumbling walls playing tricks on the mind? Let us know what you believe. Because whatever was in that mansion that night, it definitely didn't want company. And speaking of chilling encounters, on March 31st, 2025, the TikTok account Haunted Archives shared a chilling clip of 3 friends exploring an abandoned asylum, hoping to make contact with the paranormal. But just as they were about to leave, they faced something perhaps even more terrifying than ghosts.
A good time with you tonight. Thank you for letting us in your space. This is your home, not ours.
Okay, that was like a teenager voice, so like somebody's coming.
Should we scare them?
They wouldn't come in here with us.
But it sounded like... Wait, isn't the way...
That doesn't have to be them.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that?
No, Matt, because you keep f***ing talking.
No, I was quiet and I heard something and I tried to get you guys' attention. There was a step right out there. Yeah.
Those are the people then. Yeah, that's too clear. I think there's people coming.
What do we want to do?
If you listen closely, you can hear faint voices growing louder and footsteps approaching from somewhere unseen. This sudden presence clearly unsettled the group, who had no way of knowing whether these strangers meant harm or were just passing through. Unfortunately, the clip ends there, and no further context is given. All we can do is hope that the 3 friends made it out safely. But one thing is for sure, it's a chilling reminder that abandoned places often hold dangers far beyond the paranormal. When you step inside, you're never truly alone. And sometimes, the living can be even more frightening than what's beyond the grave. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, subscribe to my channel and click to see more on the video on screen.